But maybe let's start at the beginning with the plot and work our way through Reconciled Through the Christ. Where do we begin?
We start at the beginning with Adam and Eve.
Oh, that was awesome. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was so
I love
sick.
that the snake's like speaking in tongues.
Yeah. The snake spoke like an Animal Crossing character that had been pitched down. And that's when I knew when we were in for a treat, when it was like fucking shot on video horror showing the serpent tempting Eve in the Garden of Eden. I was like, this is for me.
Yeah.
Finally.
He was laughing. It was really funny.
Yeah.
And then it quick cuts from that, from her eating the apple to the horrible future of mankind. And we see war going on and a nuclear explosion and a stripper.
Yes. And a man putting several dollars into the garter of a beautiful yet lost, spiritually lost stripper.
It's been a while since we've seen a movie that does that.
Yeah, right?
With a montage. Or maybe we've just seen it so much that it feels like it's been a while because we've gone, 3 movies without it?
Well, the thing is, though, usually our montages are like Black Lives Matter protesters like throwing rocks through church windows or whatever. Or like police like shoving someone to the ground and then like sirens or blah, blah, blah. Usually the montages are to show like, but this is a montage from the beginning. Maybe I shared this anecdote before, but I have this weird foundational memory of going to a model train museum with my family when I was a kid.
I've never heard this.
A local model train museum. And I couldn't tell you much about it. I actually asked my mom, and she can't remember. She shares the memory, but can't remember what city it was in or what it was called. But it was like every 20 minutes, it was like a show, which was mostly just the lights would come up and like the trains would go around. It was it was awesome. It was like a massive model train installation. But for no reason, the beginning of the show, all the lights would go down and there was a narrator that went, "In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was light." And then the light would come on and the model trains would start spinning around the track. I will never forget that.
Yes.
But when you're a little kid, you just accept things at face value. And like, I went to church all the time as a little kid. So I didn't really bat an eye at that. But like, looking back, it's so funny that like you begin your model train show with like words about like the creation of mankind. It's so cool. That's kind of what this movie was like. It was like, before we get into this story of a man pounding Goldschläger while trying to on the way to kill his wife, we have to remember where it all started, which was the original hussy Eve took a bite from that gorgeous red delicious apple.
Who could blame
That's
her?
Where it started. And who could blame her? It looked good.
And then after that awesome starting montage, we have a Bible verse, refreshingly. Ephesians 6:12, New Living Translation. Seems a little random, but acceptable.
Yeah, weird.
For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places.
Right. Like, that's true to this day. There's all those Hollywood pedophiles and things of that nature. So truer with every passing day, that verse only becomes more and more true. The movie starts with that. And then another really remarkable opening scene, which is a man running, very afraid through the woods. And over top of him, a CGI dragon that is in pursuit of him, which chases him, only distracted by a church where people are peacefully worshiping. The dragon then interrupts its chase to go burn the church to the ground.
Something about this really scared me.
It was very freaky.
It's like that level of uncanny that just is like makes my skin crawl.
I know, right?
Reminds me of like seeing something scary when I was a kid or something.
Yes.
That was like really just so off-putting.
Yes.
I don't know
if
anybody else had that same feeling.
I
It made me
completely
really
agree.
uncomfortable to look at.
I completely agree. And
it made me delighted, but go on.
Well, I think that might have to do with the medium of shot on video, which is shot on video is like literally a magical medium. It really transforms the material in a way that just other types of media doesn't. And I can't really put my finger on why that is, but it's such a forgiving aesthetic for, amateur performances, strange costuming. Like it makes everything feel, I agree with you, Julian. Maybe it's because we're like nostalgic for that era's aesthetics, but to me, it makes everything feel like an uncanny dream.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Well, yeah, like we were talking earlier about Prince of Darkness.
Right.
How the dream sequences in that are like shot on video, but it's like shot on video of a monitor showing like something that was shot on a like expensive camera, but just that makes it seem so much scarier.
I know. Yeah.
Something about the mix of like this crappy like CGI like a 90s video game transposed over this like shot on video look is really, really scary to me.
I know. And it's also scary in a way where, we frequently cite him, but David Lynch is good at this. Now, he's not shot on video, but he is very good at making very ordinary but sort of strange objects very scary. Yeah. Especially Inland Empire, which is not video. It's shot on digital, but it still has a sort of like grainy retro camera aesthetic. And like a lamp turning on in a room with like a loud sound is like what the jump scares are in that movie. Yeah. And they're so terrifying. And I agree. There was something about this fucking stupid CGI dragon burning down a church that was very terrifying.
Yeah.
Until the man that we see running through the woods wakes up in bed screaming. We find out that this man is a devout Christian, but this is one of my favorite moments in the movie. He talks about that verse from Acts, which I didn't write down the numbers, unfortunately, but it's reported in the book of Acts that in the end days, young men will see visions and old men will dream dreams. And this is why he's having nightly dreams of dragons destroying churches.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That made me think of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Old men dreaming.
He's having a dream. Yeah. What if we were all just Joe Biden's dream and he woke up one day and we all disappeared?
It's Joe Biden's dream. We're just living in it.
Honestly, I'll take it at this point.
Yeah. Do you ever see someone doing something and you realize that there's no, like you must only be an NPC in their life?
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I see Joe Biden up there. I'm like, this explains a lot. Oh yeah. My decisions have never been my own. I am simply programmed to make Joe Biden's simulated world more vibrant.
As his dementia gets worse and his brain deteriorates, that's why the world is going into more chaos too. It has nothing to do with policies or anything, just the direct relation to his dreams and his crumbling mind to the world that it's created around it.
We probably look like when he looks at us, we probably look a lot like that, like CGI dragon.
Yeah,
like that's where our graphics are. Yeah, we look like the characters in Alone in the Dark.
I was gonna say we look like the fairies in the fairy fountain in Legend of Zelda. We have like pointy tits and stuff like that because our body parts, our joints are just so low poly that our elbows and shoulders. And
you got Lara Croft titties.
Yeah, He's like, what's a beautiful woman such as yourself? I can't do a Joe Biden, but yeah, he confuses us for Lara Croft.
Our hands are just like never open up.
Yeah, they're just knobs at the end.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm feeling so low poly today, dude. We've heard about polyamory. What about low polyamory? Is there something there?